Prince Harry thought he could outrun the royal spotlight, but now it's catching up with him in a way no one expected. With a bill that could strip him of his title and an $800,000 tax bill hanging over his head, his Hollywood dream might be crashing down. But that's not all. Meghan's silence, Parliament's wrath, and rumors of financial chaos are adding fuel to the fire. Stay tuned, because what happens next might shock you. Prince Harry never thought it would come to this. His title, the very thing that once defined his place in the world, is now hanging by a thread. The Duke of Sussex wasn't just a name, it was his passport to fame, power, and the global spotlight. It got him meetings with Netflix executives, a publishing deal that raked in millions, and a platform from which to speak. But now, that title is under attack. UK Parliament has introduced a bill that could officially strip Harry of his Duke of Sussex title. No rumors, no whispers, just hard legislation. If it passes, Harry will lose the very brand that opened doors to Hollywood and beyond. Without it, he's just another celebrity trying to cash in on a past that's slipping further out of reach. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the pressure is mounting. Harry's royal legacy is on the line. In an unprecedented move, Parliament didn't just talk about Harry, they called him out by name. One MP stood up and made it clear: if you abandon your duty, insult the monarchy, and flaunt your title like a badge of honor while making millions abroad, there have to be consequences. And now, the consequences are coming fast. This isn't just a general statement about the monarchy or former royals, it's a direct message to Harry. The bill to remove his title isn't a vague threat. It's a reality that Parliament is actively debating. For the first time, Harry isn't just in the crosshairs of tabloids or critics on social media. He's facing the full force of the British government, and this time, there's no royal protection to shield him. The attack on his title is more than symbolic. It's an attempt to take away his relevance, his identity, and his value in a world that's quickly losing interest in his royal ties. The heat is on, and Harry's past decisions are coming back to haunt him. As if losing his title wasn't enough, Harry now faces an even more pressing crisis: a looming $800,000 tax bill from HM Revenue and Customs. And it's not a pay-it-when-you-can situation. He's got just 3 days to cough up the full amount. No grace period, no room to negotiate. This isn't just a financial setback, it's a ticking time bomb. For someone who once lived under the safety of royal privilege, this sudden demand for cash is a reality check like no other. The pressure's mounting, and if Harry can't come up with the money in time, the UK government has every right to seize his assets, pursue legal action, and publicly humiliate him even further. The consequences of failure are dire, and with no royal family to step in and save him, Harry is facing the harshest financial reckoning of his life. If his once glamorous California lifestyle is to continue, he'll have to figure out how to scrape together the cash or risk everything he's worked to build. As Harry's financial and legal troubles intensify, one thing is becoming crystal clear: he's facing this crisis alone. Meghan Markle, once his partner in rebellion, has remained completely silent. No public statements, no supportive posts, not even a hint of solidarity. For someone who built a brand on shared vulnerability, her silence is deafening. The palace, too, has made its position clear. Harry is on his own. King Charles, Prince William, and the rest of the royal family have turned a cold shoulder. There's no rescue mission, no behind-the-scenes intervention. His royal safety net is gone. What's left is the cold reality that Harry is no longer the rebellious prince on a noble quest for freedom. He's the man who ran from royal duties, made a fortune off his title, and now can't pay his bills. The British public has turned on him too. More than 70% support stripping his title, not out of hatred, but out of principle. They see a man who abandoned his post and profited from his royal status, but when the bill came, he couldn't foot it. The once sympathetic narrative has shifted, and now Harry's fall from grace is a public spectacle. The hashtags trending across social media aren't just jokes. They're a sign of how much the public has soured on the Duke of Sussex. He's no longer the underdog. He's the entitled celebrity who ran away, and now the world is watching as he faces the consequences of his choices. If there's one thing more shocking than Harry's mounting troubles, it's Meghan Markle's silence. The woman who once built a career on sharing personal narratives, talking about vulnerability, and posting candid moments has gone completely quiet. Not a word, not a single public show of support for her husband. For someone whose brand thrived on being transparent and relatable, her decision to pull back now speaks volumes. Insiders suggest that Meghan is calculating every move, distancing herself from the unfolding drama. With archetypes on hold, her Spotify deal terminated, and the Netflix partnership hanging by a thread, Meghan is realizing that aligning herself too closely with Harry's unraveling reputation could pull her down even further. In Hollywood, where brand stability is key and public perception can make or break a career, Meghan's silence is likely a survival tactic. She knows that attaching herself to instability could jeopardize everything she's worked for. As Harry's world crumbles, she's playing it safe, waiting to see if the storm clears before making any moves. In the meantime, her absence speaks louder than any statement could, and the silence itself is starting to raise even more questions. While Harry grapples with a mounting tax bill and the threat of losing his title, his financial stability is unraveling fast. The lavish lifestyle he's been leading in Montecito, complete with a multi-million-dollar mansion, staff, security, and every luxury you can imagine, requires serious cash flow. But with Netflix reconsidering future projects, whispers about Archewell's financial instability, and the looming question of whether his brand is worth the trouble, the pressure is on. Harry's attempts to build a media empire, once seen as a fresh start, are now faltering. The Sussex brand, which once seemed untouchable, is reportedly losing its luster. Industry insiders have even described it as radioactive. In Hollywood, where the market thrives on predictability and polished images, Harry's reputation has become a liability. He's no longer the charming prince making waves with a message of change. He's the celebrity with mounting debts, a tarnished public image, and no royal backing to bail him out. The most troubling sign: Archewell, the foundation Harry and Meghan built to champion social causes, is under increasing scrutiny. While it's not suspected of being a front for illicit activity, questions about questionable expenses, overlapping business dealings, and the way Netflix money was funneled through the foundation are starting to surface. If these investigations dig deeper and uncover more discrepancies, the financial fallout could be devastating. For a man who once had the entire royal establishment behind him, Harry now finds himself struggling to stay afloat in a world that demands results, not excuses. What's perhaps most jarring in Harry's descent is the glaring absence of the very institution that once shielded him, the British royal family. When Harry stepped away from royal duties, he likely imagined he'd carve his own path while maintaining some form of royal protection. But now, as his world crumbles, the palace has made one thing perfectly clear: they're not stepping in. Buckingham Palace has drawn a firm line. King Charles isn't lifting a finger to intervene, and Prince William, once Harry's closest confidant, isn't even taking his calls. Sources close to the palace have confirmed that royal lawyers have been told to stay out of it, signaling that this is no longer a family matter. Harry wanted freedom, but with freedom comes the cold reality that he's now fully exposed, standing alone in a storm he created. The royals who once provided a safety net, who ensured Harry's place in the public eye and the financial world, are now silent. No emergency interventions, no behind-the-scenes negotiations, no quiet bailouts. The family that once had his back is now distancing itself, leaving Harry to face the consequences of his choices. He may have wanted independence, but it's becoming clear freedom comes at a steep price, and Harry's now paying it in full. As the drama unfolds, one thing is certain: Harry is no longer the underdog the public once rallied behind. The same people who once sympathized with his quest for freedom are now turning their backs, and they're making their voices heard. Public support for stripping Harry of his Duke of Sussex title is at an all-time high. More than 70% of the British public are in favor, not out of malice, but out of a sense of justice. For many, Harry's actions have come across as opportunistic. He walked away from royal responsibilities, profited off his title, and now that the bill has arrived, he can't or won't pay. It's a hard pill to swallow for those who still believe in the importance of duty and accountability. Harry's attempt to profit from royalty without fulfilling the duties attached to it has left a sour taste in the mouths of many. The public sees a man who took advantage of his royal status, and now that he's being held accountable, they're not sympathetic. Parliament's bill to strip him of his title is not just an official act, it's a reflection of the shifting public sentiment. The monarchy, once seen as a symbol of tradition, is now upholding its standards, demanding that Harry be treated like any other citizen who chooses to walk away. The public's growing impatience with Harry's actions has strengthened the resolve of lawmakers to push the bill through. As the pressure mounts, it seems like the end of Harry's royal association might be closer than anyone ever imagined. As Harry's title hangs in the balance, the consequences are only beginning to unfold. The $800,000 tax bill might seem like the most pressing issue right now, but experts are warning that this could be just the tip of the iceberg. When institutions like Parliament and Revenue and Customs start digging, they don't stop at the surface, they go deeper. And the deeper they go, the more uncomfortable Harry's situation becomes. HMRC isn't simply content with the overdue taxes. They've started to comb through every aspect of Harry's finances, including his UK-based earnings, charitable deductions, and reported income tied to Archewell. Every speech, every brand deal, every digital appearance he made that funneled money through British channels is now under scrutiny. If they find any discrepancies or irregularities in his financial reporting, that $800,000 bill could quickly balloon into something much worse. And the nightmare doesn't stop there. Behind the scenes, Archewell is reportedly facing more intense scrutiny as well. Investigators are eyeing potential financial mismanagement, particularly in the way the foundation has handled its funds and expenses. With the Netflix deal, donations, and business ventures all tangled up in the same web, questions are mounting about how every dollar has been spent. If the numbers don't add up, the fallout won't just be financial. It'll be a public scandal that could damage Harry's reputation beyond repair. In the world of celebrity, trust is everything, and the loss of that trust could have dire consequences. Harry once had the world at his feet, but now, with each passing day, the walls are closing in. If the investigation exposes anything shady or even questionable, the public spectacle will only grow, and the damage to Harry's image might be irreversible. What seemed like a new beginning in Hollywood could quickly turn into a legal and financial nightmare with lasting consequences. As if the mounting financial and legal pressures weren't enough, Harry's Hollywood dreams are beginning to crack under the strain. When he first made his exit from the royal family, it was with the belief that he could forge a new life in the land of fame and fortune. But now, that dream is starting to look more like a distant fantasy. The entertainment industry thrives on stability, control, and a carefully crafted public image. Right now, Harry has none of those. His reputation is shaky, his finances are unstable, and the media circus surrounding him has made him a risky bet for studio executives. Multiple insiders have revealed that negotiations for Sussex projects have either been paused or quietly shelved altogether, citing the growing public volatility surrounding his name. Hollywood doesn't do business with headlines, and right now, Harry's headline is one of scandal, uncertainty, and mounting legal battles. Even deals that once seemed promising are now on hold, with some industry professionals reportedly saying, "We don't do business with a brand that's this unpredictable." In a town where brand image can make or break a career, Harry's reputation is now seen as toxic. The media frenzy, the public scrutiny, and the looming financial disaster have made him a liability that few are willing to take a chance on. What makes this even worse is the toll it's taking on his wife's career. Meghan, who was once seen as the perfect match for Harry's brand, is now facing her own struggles in Hollywood. With archetypes on hold and her own deal with Spotify gone, aligning too closely with Harry's tarnished reputation could further jeopardize her own career. In a world where stability is king, Harry's financial and personal crises have turned him from a promising celebrity to a public liability. What makes this entire collapse so brutal isn't just the scale of Harry's downfall, it's the bitter irony. Harry's whole journey, from the royal palace to California, was built on the idea of escaping the constraints of royal duty. He wanted freedom, freedom from tradition, freedom from obligation, and the freedom to live life on his own terms. But in his quest to leave behind the royal responsibilities, he never truly left behind the very thing that gave him his power, his title. He couldn't escape the golden handcuffs of his royal status. Even after stepping away, Harry continued to cash in on the very title he claimed to reject. His Duke of Sussex title opened doors in Hollywood, earned him millions, and gave him a platform. But now, with the UK Parliament aiming to strip it away and financial crises mounting, Harry is left with nothing but the very reality he sought to avoid, a life defined by his royal past, yet without the protection or privileges that came with it. The final blow might not come from Parliament or the media. It could come from within, when Harry realizes that in his pursuit of freedom and relevance, he lost both. Without his title, His Hollywood brand is weak, his finances are crumbling, and his public support is evaporating. The country he tried to escape from is now holding him accountable in ways he never imagined. And with no royal safety net, no celebrity endorsements, and no family to lean on, Harry is facing the full weight of his choices. The irony is that in trying to escape the monarchy, Harry has ended up exposed, vulnerable, and struggling to stay afloat. The titles, the wealth, and the power he once enjoyed are slipping through his fingers. And as the final blow strikes, one thing becomes painfully clear: freedom isn't free. And for Harry, it's come at the highest cost.